You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Bay Area, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I am Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mag Morning Show on KNBR. And tonight, it is time to celebrate, Giants fans. The 2024 season is officially underway after Kyle Harrison and the San Francisco Giants pick up their first win with an 8-3 victory over the San Diego Padres. And all the newcomers contributed. Soler, Chapman, Jung-Hoo Lee, everyone seems like they are locked in at the dish right now. Chapman, of course, with those two monster home runs tonight, his 11th multi-home run game of his career. But personally, I think tonight's story is all about the Giants' young prospect, Kyle Harrison, living up to expectations. And I'll tell you right now, their success this season largely depends on Harrison's development. And tonight, he delivered against baseball's best offense, one of their best offenses. And we'll break it all down. But first, I want to thank every single one of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports Bay Area YouTube channel. Please hit that subscribe button. Saw a ton of you subscribe overnight after our first Giant show. Really appreciate that. Let's keep that momentum going and get some more subscribers. We love Giants baseball. And thanks for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're getting the show, we appreciate you so much. And make sure to check out the Locked On Giants daily show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a phenomenal job. Today, offense right from the jump. Matt Chapman, 2-run bomb after Lamont Wade Jr. single. Joe Musgrove had 2 strikes on Chapman and threw a good pitch, but Chappie had a better swing. 104.2 exit velo, 407 feet, but he outdid himself with the second home run in the 9th inning today. Matt Chapman just blasted one to the upper deck of the Western Metal Supply Company building that Petco has out there in left field. A no-doubter monster moonshot, 111.7 exit velo, 424 feet. 2-run shot since Soler drew a walk earlier in the inning. And according to Sarah Langs, who, for my money, is the best baseball stat person in the world, shout out Sarah Langs, the Giants only had 1 home run hit harder than that all of last season. A 112-mile-per-hour shot by Jock Peterson on May 12th of last year. As I said in the open, the 11th time Matt Chapman has had a multi-home run game, but his first in a Giants uniform, his first home run, his first multi-home run game. Excellent to see. And really, all the newcomers played well tonight. Soler picked up a double, scored in this one. He also, that double was his first hit as a Giant. Matt Chapman also drove in Soler after that double. So Chapman with 5 RBIs tonight, just a one-man wrecking crew out there, rolled that nice, just buttery double play in the 9th inning there to close it out with Ryan Walker on the mound. Phenomenal night. Like, how big is this Matt Chapman addition for this team? Your whole offense now looks so different. The Giants 5 for 11 tonight with runners in scoring position. I'm losing my mind, man. Like, Giants baseball might not actually be torture in 2024. This is so exciting. The vibes on this team are through the roof. This team, I know it's 2 games, man, but I can't help myself. I am so elated to see what this team can do. Michael Conforto staying hot at the plate. He didn't have the best stat line to finish this one. Conforto only finished with 1 hit, 1 for 5, struck out twice, but he did, every time he's making contact with that ball, it is jumping off of his bat. He had a really sharp liner down the first baseline that was snared. He sent a hot shot to the right field wall, cleared Tatis's head, bounced right at the base of the wall. Probably the longest single of his career. I don't know how he didn't get to second base on that play. Tatis did field that ball in a hurry and get it back in. He's got a good arm out there. But probably one of the longest singles of Michael Conforto's career, as it did bounce off of the wall. And tonight, we got to talk about it. Kyle Blanken Harrison, man, he looked locked in. I mean, he got Tatis looking. He got a couple other strikeouts tonight. He did give up those 2 home runs, but they were 2 solo shots. one to Manny Machado, excuse me, and one to Fernando Tatis. And Tatis did pick up a second bomb later in the game. That first one, not a cheap shot at all. That second one, kind of a cheap shot, but that first Tatis home run was, I mean, just the biggest ball hit of the night. 441 feet on that one and 114.9 exit velo. He killed, obliterated, annihilated that pitch. That was in the bottom of the sixth that Tatis hit that. But the key is for Harrison, no walks tonight, very few base runners. If you give up 2 solo jacks, one to Manny Machado and one to Fernando Tatis, 2 guys who are some of the best hitters in all of baseball, you'll live with that. I'll take that every time. 6 innings, 2 runs against an offense of this caliber. If Kyle Harrison pitches this way, night in, night out, which he is completely capable of, and pitching better, as he only pitched 76 pitches tonight, he's much more capable of going deeper into games. Obviously, it's very early in the season. It's game 2 of 162. They're not going to ride Harrison that hard all through this game, and they had a comfortable lead. It was time for him to come out, especially he was given some signs. Guys were hitting some deep balls into the outfield on some of those flyouts that he got out of the 6th inning with. But Harrison was electric tonight. His fastball had all sorts of life and movement to it. Ball just explodes out of his hand, man. I mean, he's only living around 93, 94 velo-wise with his fastball. But for hitters, I mean, you hear Mike Krukow talk about it on the broadcast. Shout out Mike Krukow every single day of my life. I love Mike Krukow. And you see the ball just exploding out of Kyle Harrison's hand, and it gets up on hitters a lot quicker than they anticipate, especially with that late movement. Looks more like 98 coming out of his hand than like 93, 94. So Harrison's stuff is just electric. He's got a plus changeup, which he did hang over the plate on that Tatis monster moonshot. But you'll live with it. That Manny Machado, the Manny Machado home run was not a bad pitch by Harrison. It was kind of similar to the Matt Chapman one. It was a good pitch, but Machado just put a better swing on it than Harrison was able to make a good pitch. He was painting the corners all night long, though, with velocity and movement, and he's just piecing things together, a plethora of different weapons to choose from in his pitching arsenal. This guy has the potential to completely change the outcome of this Giants season. Do you remember what it was like when Madison Bumgarner came on? How quickly he just became part of that trio of Tim Lincecum and Matt Cain and then Madison Bumgarner. And then they had other plus pitchers around them as well to get it done. And that was the trio. But that, like, those 3 guys, the way that Bum came on was electrifying. And yes, he did have time to ramp up prior. He was officially a rookie in that first season that he really came onto the scene, but had some prior experience in the year before in the bigs, but was still classified as a rookie. Harrison, not in that same boat, obviously, as he's not classified right now as a rookie, but Harrison just is the key to this Giants team. If he pitches at an all-star caliber level or anything close, which he is more than capable of doing, you have 3 guys, 2 guys who could win the Cy Young at the top of the staff, plus a 3rd guy who's a potential all-star. And then you're maybe getting back a former Cy Young Award winner in Robbie Ray. And then you have Alex Cobb who could come in as well. This staff looks solid. And if you can hit like this, I mean, we're through 2 games. Giants had 13 hits tonight. They had 9 hits last night. Are they going to hit like this every night? I mean, I am so excited. It is 2 games. 2 is not a pattern. It is not a habit, back-to-back days, not a habit, but maybe they can turn it into one, man. I love this. I love this. We all knew their Giants was going to be we all knew the Giants offense was going to be improved this season with all of the offseason additions they made. But did anybody think it was going to be this drastically different? I certainly didn't. I certainly didn't. There were a lot of good signs from this game. I love the aggressive base running, like that Pat Bailey line drive into the gap where Tatis couldn't field it cleanly and he kind of fumbled it around there. And Pat Bailey legs out a double, like it was a single rule with an error, but he's standing there on second base after the end of that game. That's your starting catcher. Like, legging out a double on something like that. Like, that's incredible. Like, you don't The Giants weren't doing that last season. They were not this aggressive on the base paths. We didn't see this from them last year at all. And tonight, this season, really, I just keep seeing the Giants going first to third on singles, scoring from second on singles, getting extra bases when they can, putting the pressure on the opposing defense to feel the ball, make a play, make a throw. And the Giants did not do this last year. They just didn't. And not only is this better for the team, not only does this make your team better, your offense better, but it's so much more fun to watch, man. Like, guys actually running, guys like moving around the field. Like, this offense isn't scoring just from home runs. They're station to station. They're slapping singles and moving around the bases. Like, this game was so fun to watch. It was never, even after that first Matt Chapman home run, they tacked on more, which, by the way, that rally started with 2 outs. Lamont Wade Jr. singles with 2 outs, Matt Chapman 2-run bomb with 2 outs. And then Conforto sends one to the wall with 2 outs and puts Chapman over to third, or Wilmer Flores, moved to third on that play, who had been hit by a pitch on a previous at-bat. And then Tyro Estrada lines one to right and scores Flores. All of these 3 runs come with 2 outs. How different of a vibe is this from last season? When the Giants had 2 outs last season, if you didn't have one of like 2 or 3 guys up, you kind of just felt like, okay, like, grab your mitt, let's run back into the field and go play some defense. This team wasn't gonna rally like that. They didn't have the vibes, the life, like the energy. It's just so different watching this team, and it is so fun, man. So fun. The bullpen pitched well in this one tonight. Landon Roop makes his MLB debut, gives up a base runner, but gets out of the inning pretty much unscathed. That was a nice outing too. You're going to see a lot of guys like that coming up to the bigs this year. We'll talk a little bit more about that on the other side, as well as more of this Giants win. I am just elated, man. Like, I am so blanking happy with this team. It is so fun to watch them right now. And I have no reason to believe that this brand of Giants baseball is going to change at all going forward. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and we will be right back. Locked On Giants postcast is sponsored by FanDuel. Say goodbye to busted brackets, because FanDuel lets you bet on every game of the NCAA tourney. I know I've been getting on this action all month long. I love March Madness. Whether you're betting on a big upset or a number 1 seed, which there were a ton of big upsets today. That was a fun day of March Madness. It's time to go dancing on America's number 1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to use on point spreads, money lines. You can even pick who's going to win it all. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and bet on college hoops until they cut down the nets, or maybe bet on the Giants over for the win total for the season based on the way that they've started. Just whatever it is, go to FanDuel, get in on some of that action. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. Again, that's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I am your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and I'm just taking a peek at the comments on today's postcast right now. Everybody is excited about Matt Chapman, and so am I, man. I mean, I was getting so nervous that this wouldn't get done, and this seemed like the most obvious, glaringly obvious signing that the Giants really needed to make. You got Luciano there trying to learn how to play shortstop. Who knows if he's actually going to develop as a shortstop? Yes, I know he's not on the Giants active roster right now. He will be before too long, but he is probably not going to turn into a shortstop. So he's got to learn how to play third base from somebody. And in the meantime, while he is playing shortstop over the next couple seasons, which you assume he will be, because that's the position he knows how to play, you need somebody over there that can not only help him out while he's a shortstop. Who better to do that than a gold/platinum glove third baseman? But he can also teach Luciano how to play that position as well. That is the perfect stopgap for the next 2 to 3 years. And Chapman obviously gives you a ton at the dish. This is something the Giants have been desperately needing from a corner infielder for so long. And yes, I know Wilmer Flores had a nice season last year, but really, was it a nice season? It was a nice second half. And his numbers looked good for the whole season after that nice second half. Wilmer Flores also wasn't playing every day last year. He didn't have the type of impact on this team that an everyday player like Matt Chapman is going to have. It is awesome that he is able to reunite with Bob Melvin here in the Bay Area. I mean, I'm not going to say I go to the Coliseum a lot, but I did go to the Oakland Coliseum and see a few Bob Melvin, Matt Chapman games back in the year. Saw Matt Chapman hit a few bombs at a A's game over the last couple of years, and I couldn't help but think when I was watching it, like, damn, I wish that guy was a Giant, and now he is. And that's so great to say, because the Giants have missed out on so many guys that you get that feeling about over the last few years. It's been tough. And now they got guys like Chapman, like Jorge Soler, who picked up his first Giants hit of his career tonight. He scored his first 2 runs as a Giant, drew a walk as well in this one. And Jung-Hoo Lee with the RBI and picked up 2 hits. Everybody is contributing, man. Everybody is doing something for this Giants team. 13 hits, 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position. I could cry. I'm so happy right now. I am so happy with the way that this team is playing. In the bullpen too. The bullpen, after, kind of imploding a little bit in night one, I hesitate to say that because Luke Jackson obviously didn't look right. Something is up with his health. I think Mike Krukow said during the broadcast yesterday it might have been a back issue. That's what his early analysis was. But they didn't really have the worst bullpen outing yesterday. The bullpen didn't get it done. Obviously, the Giants picked up the loss because of it. But if it's because Luke Jackson picked up an injury in a game, like, that's not going to happen every single night. I trust this bullpen going forward. They have a ton of proven guys, and they also have a ton of up-and-coming arms that you're going to see this season, and you've seen 2 so far. Eric Miller, you saw opening night. You saw his parents. If you're watching the broadcast, you saw his dad. That's my son. If you were good at lip read, and that was such a cool moment, man. And then Roop tonight gets his MLB debut. You saw his parents out there too. You love to see it, man. Like, how can you not be romantic about baseball? And Roop showed out tonight a little bit. I thought, like, yes, he did have that base runner tonight, but he flashed some electric stuff, man. He's got a funky delivery, and he can get up to 94, 95 with that sinker 2-seamer. It's a fastball, but it's going to come up as a sinker on the NBC broadcast. I don't know what's with all these different pitches, man. Like, I'm just used to fastball, curveball, changeup, slider, like those kinds of things, like sinker maybe. But now you got like sweepers and like you're calling 2-seamer sinkers, and I don't even know, man. I don't even know what to call pitches anymore. But anyways, he's got a fastball / sinker that has some life to it, mid-90s, and then he's got this electric like sweeper, curveball, slider, whatever the hell off-speed pitch you want to call it, whatever name you want to call it. It's an off-speed breaking pitch that drops down to about 77 with a ton of movement. I mean, that's almost a 20-mile-an-hour difference in pitches. Like, that is a weapon, man. And you're going to keep an eye out for all these young Giants arms coming up. Mason Black, Hayden Birdsong, if he gets up here, Carson Wisenhunt. Like, there's all sorts of guys that are going to come up from the minor leagues this year that you're going to see for the first time. Plus, you have a bunch of guys who came up last year who the Giants need to take a step forward this year. I'm talking about Tristan Beck. I'm talking about the Keaton Wins of the world, those kinds of guys. Obviously, the one we've been talking about most on this show today, the guy who started tonight, Kyle Harrison. And again, 6 hits, 2 runs, 5 Ks, including a couple looking strikeouts, 76 pitches, 54 of them 4 strikes. That is excellent. Absolutely excellent. And his counterpart tonight, I should mention, was Joe Musgrove. Joe Musgrove, one of my favorite guys to watch pitch, San Diego kid, born and raised, playing for the Padres. Again, how can you not be romantic about baseball? Tonight was not his best night. He just didn't have it. He gave up 4 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings. And he hit a couple guys tonight. It's early season. Typically, as we said last night, pitching takes some more time to adjust. And in the first, April, May, you'll see some crooked numbers. You'll see offenses kind of get to some guys, and pitchers usually take a little bit longer to ramp up on that. The other relievers who came in tonight, Taylor Rogers and Ryan Walker. The Giants, seeing some of these guys for the first time. Ryan Walker has been out there. Taylor Rogers, his first appearance of the season, and he pitched okay. He gave up a run. He gave up that shot, that kind of cheapy shot down the line, just barely over the 342 marker in left field. I hate stadiums that have short porches like that. It's just Yankee Stadium too, like that tiny little baby ballpark. There's a lot of cheapo home runs there. And that's just, being a Giants fan, Oracle Park is massive, man. Like, if we can't get cheapy home runs, I don't want you to get cheapy home runs either. So move that fence back a little bit, Matt Chapman can clear a lot further than that if he's putting one in the upper deck of the Western Metal Supply building. But one quick note, I wanted to make a mention of Rogers cleats. I know it's random, but can you blame me? I'm a product of Brian Murphy, who is obsessed with people's cleat colors. And Rogers has forever, since he's been a Giant, has come out with these white cleats. He's a teammate. He had a teammate a while ago who told him, because he's got that funky, like, submarine delivery, that he should wear some white cleats because it can kind of trick the batter's eye, whether he's seeing the ball or the cleat coming flying at him. And he went back to the black cleats. I wonder why. Murph always hated the white cleats, so maybe he talked to Murph, and Murph got in his ear a little bit and told him, you need to get rid of those white cleats. You're not on the Oakland A's. You are on the San Francisco Giants. So for what it's worth, interesting. If you're a weird nerd like me and Murph, then that's interesting to you too. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I am Eric Triple E Engel, and we will be right back. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I am your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and tonight, man, I am just elated. I am so happy with how many good signs we saw from the San Francisco Giants tonight in their 8-3 victory over the San Diego Padres. And I'm just so elated, man. This team, the vibes, the energy, the Bob Melvin in the dugout, it is all just electric, man. And I wanted to mention one more thing about Rogers. We ended the last segment talking about Tyler Rogers. He got a really nice double play there where after the Tatis home run, there was another runner on base, and he ended up with a full count to Manny Machado. And Machado has some ownage against him. 6 for 16 lifetime with 2 home runs and 2 doubles. That's a 375-ish batting average. That's really good. And Rogers gets him to ground out into a double play, an inning-ending double play, immediately ends the threat. And you just kind of felt like this was pre-Matt Chapman bomb. So it was close. Camilo Doval was warming up in the bullpen to start the top of the ninth, and Matt Chapman cranks that one out to left field, and he gets to sit down, and they save Doval for another day. And yes, Doval was so fun to watch last year in all the close games that the Giants used him in. I love Camilo. He is so electric on the mound. Like, everything about him is so fun to watch. Like, I just love his vibe. I love that he's always rocking like that Dominican cowboy look. Like, he just reminds me of Johnny Cueto. Like, where is the horse? Bring in the horse. Let that man ride in from the bullpen on a horse. That would be so fun to watch. And like the Giants video board, like last season, who knows if they're going to have the same intros this season, but last season, his walk-up song with just all the fire, all the flames coming out on the video board. It's such a vibe, man. I love me some Camilo Doval. But you know what I don't love is Camilo Doval pitching like damn near every night, because that's not the recipe for success for how you're going to go deep in a season. You need to keep these bullpen arms fresh. And that's exactly what the Giants are doing with this offense that is padding leads late in the game. I don't know for how many years. I mean, since like Ray Durham was a Giant, I have been watching this team score the majority of their runs in the first 3 innings and then just coast for the rest of the game. I've been watching pitchers like Logan Webb get Matt Cained forever. And you know what I'm talking about. There's a literal word for it named after Giants former pitcher Matt Cain, Giants legend, by the way, Matt Cain. If you're watching on the live stream, I gotta hang this up eventually. But this Matt Cain autographed World Series, holding up the World Series trophy. Oh yeah. We love Matt Cain on the Locked On Giants postcast here. But he got 1 run of support, 2 runs of support in so many games where he would give up like 3 or 2 runs and somehow get a loss. Like that, we created a word for that happening to a pitcher. We call it getting Matt Cained. you all know this, and that's what happens to Logan Webb like every night. And we even saw it in game one. He kind of got Matt Cained a little bit in that one, but this might be different. This could be different. This Giants team is padding leads for their bullpen, man. Like, this is such a different team than we have become accustomed to over the years. This is such a different team than I even expected to see with all of their improvements. And I've said from the beginning, like, Bob Melvin was the biggest addition to this team, and he's just proven it more and more. The way that this team plays, the way that they're running the bases, the way that they're attacking the baseball, and they're getting after it in early in counts when they know they can jump on guys. When, you know, we've seen for a long time that their philosophy offensively was kind of get into the other team's bullpen. Like in the Kapler years, it was see as many pitches as you can from the starting pitcher and hope you can do some damage to the bullpen. And that's kind of I don't like that philosophy. I really don't, man. Like that's kind of a chicken blank philosophy. You know what I mean? Like you're too afraid to go after the other guy's starting pitcher. So you're just going to try and wear him out and hope you get to the bullpen. Like, what is that, man? Like, be aggressive, go out there and attack, score some runs. And that is exactly what this team is doing. Go up there, look for a pitch to hit and drive it somewhere. I don't give a blank about your launch angle. I just want someone to hit the ball hard. If you hit the ball hard somewhere, you get on base more often than not. This is what we have been taught, every single one of us. I learned this when I was like 5 years old in T-ball. We all know this. And the Giants, for whatever reason, didn't for the last few years, for whatever reason. And now they seem to be getting back to that. 13 hits. I'm going to say it again, 13 hits. They had 9 hits yesterday through 2 games. The Giants have 22 hits. That's incredible. That's incredible. Did they have that many hits in any 2 back-to-back games last season at all? I don't know. I'd have to go back and do some research, but probably not very many. I mean, this team looks so much better. They are so much more fun. The vibe looks better too. Like, guys in the dugout are like on the rail cheering their guys on. Even when the Giants are up in this one by a big margin, like, everybody is into it. And I know it's early season baseball. It's easy to be locked in early season baseball. Everyone feels like they got a chance. Everyone feels like they can win at the beginning of the year. I mean, everybody, even the Colorado Rockies are thinking this could be our year. It's not, but you know, you let them have it for a couple days. But the Giants seem like they got something here, man. They seem like they can build on this. They seem like a team that's ready to compete. And I know this is 2 games. I know this is just 2 games. I don't see this slowing down. I really don't. You have so many new additions to this team that are going to add so much to this roster. And it's all guys who do different things. Jung-Hoo Lee, fast, ball to bat skills, will not strike out a lot. He's going to get on base. He's going to get some steals. Jorge Soler, big bat, hopefully can be the first 30+ home run guy since Barry Bonds. Maybe Matt Chapman will be that guy too. Maybe they'll have 2 this season. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. That would be so exciting if after this long of no guys hitting more than 30 home runs for the Giants. Could you imagine if 2 do it in 1 year? Oh my God. I just made myself even so much more excited than I already was about this team. This is going to be a fun year for the San Francisco Giants. And make sure you stick with us on Locked On Giants Postcast for every single post game for your San Francisco Giants. I have a feeling a lot of them are going to sound like this one. I feel like this team has the potential to make a playoff run. Winning the division, we know, is going to be tough. I'm not ignorant to the fact that the Dodgers roster, their lineup, and their pitching staff both look superior to the San Francisco Giants on paper. But guess what? The Giants roster and pitching staff looked lesser than the Dodgers in every single year that they won the World Series during that 2010s dynasty. So as long as you got pitching and Oracle Park and defense and timely hitting, which they showed tonight, 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position, I don't know how much more timely hitting you can get. This team has the makeup of a team that can make a playoff push and actually win in the postseason. I mean, they're going to need to stay healthy, yes, but I mean, if you have you move down to that 3-pitcher rotation in the playoffs. If you have a 3-pitcher rotation of Snell and Webb and Harrison continues to take steps forward and pitch like he did tonight, Oh my God, man. Sign me up for the rest of this Giant season. I mean, sign me up for every Giant season, win or lose, but this is going to be a fun year, man. Take my word for it. Write it down. Triple E says on what's today? March 29th, Friday. 2024 Giants making the postseason. Take that over. Go to FanDuel right now. Take that over on the Giants win total projection for this season. I'm telling you, man, I was not sold on this team to start the year. That the Snell signing and the Chapman signing really changed my mind. I should say to start the spring, I had a lot of hangups with this roster. Those two signings completely change it. And plus, what we've seen on the field from what the Giants already have, this is exciting. Exciting, man. If you can't tell, I'm hyped. I could go another 30 minutes, but that's about all the time that we have for you today on the Locked On Giants postcast. Thanks so much to every single one of you who followed me on Twitter, who followed us on our YouTube page, on the Locked On Sports Bay Area YouTube page. There were a ton of you. So thank you so much. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the show today. We'll be coming to you live after, like I said, every single Giants game for this entire season. And it's going to be fun, man. Trust me, it's going to be fun. I am Eric Triple E Engel. This is the Locked On Giants postcast, and we will see you next time. Peace.